one tonight. Gee whiz, it's good to have with us, and we'd like to welcome you to Sydney, Mr. Paul Jones. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hello. I'm well, but very tired.
Very tired. I guess so. You've had a pretty hectic old day, haven't you? What time did you fly in?
Pretty hectic. 2 days. About 2 days since I was last in bed.
This is when you left London, of course.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'd like to welcome you to Sydney, first of all, and thank you very much for taking time out, because I know you're so tired. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'll ask you perhaps to talk about a record or two, maybe, if you've got a minute or two. I got some things here to give you, too, that kids have sent in that they want to give you for some reason or other. I don't know. I got a comb here. I was out at Parramatta yesterday at David Jones, and somebody came up and said, will you please give Paul Jones this? And that's a comb. I'll give it to Paul later on. 23 after night. Also, we say hello to Newcastle, too, because they're catching the show tonight. Paul, when you take you back to Manfred Mann, when you were singing with Manfred Mann, when you broke away, did you ever have any fears that you may not have been a success when you broke away from the group that you'd more or less become established with?
I suppose for a very short time I did, but the thing is, just about as soon as it was announced that I was going to leave, somebody came to me and said, would you like to make a film? So I said, well, you know, sock it to me. And they said it's called Privilege, and the director's called Peter Watkins, and I did it. And by the time all that was over, which was about 3 months later, I was already, I thought, sufficiently well into it on my own, not to worry.
And it's been more or less a rosy path ever since. Well, how long is it now? About 18 months, isn't it? Yeah. Tell us about Privilege. It's been a box office smash we hear overseas. Is this right? We haven't yet seen it here in Australia.
It depends where you mean. It's been an absolute sort of death in some places, like Holland, for example. In other places, like Italy, it's been a sort of big smash and won several awards, and sort of got pretty good offers from me from sort of very good Italian directors.
This is very good. Now, you play the part of a pop star in the film Privilege, and from what I can gather anyway, you become an evangelist. Is this right? Or
yes, sort of. I get sort of more or less hired by the government to tell everybody as the most influential person, you know, in the sort of sphere of communication, if you like. And I sort of get hired by the government to tell people what to believe and, you know, what the government says is right and so on. And that's all tied in with the church and a big sort of religious rally.
You needn't tell us anymore, because that means the people won't go and see it. Do you think pop stars do have a great influence on kids?
Not as much as Privilege says that they do, but then that's a sort of justifiable exaggeration. I think they do, yes.
You've, I heard, have just finished a recording session in which you played with some of the Yardbirds who are out here exactly 12 months to the day it is, I think, if my memory serves me right, out here in Australia. Would you like to tell us about this new record or recording session you've just finished?
Yes, it was just the day before I left England to come here, and we did a Bee Gees song.
Oh, yeah.
Which is produced by my new record producer, Peter Asher, Peter and Gordon. And it was a lovely session, the first really lovely session I've had for years, you know, with, as you said, Jeff Beck, who used to be with the Yardbirds, was on lead guitar, and Paul Samuel Smith was on bass. He's with them as well. Paul McCartney was on drums. Mike Vickers, who used to be with Manfred Mann, played piano.
You got quite a congregation, didn't you?
Lovely.
Tell me now, what are the future, Paul? You got anything lined up that you'd like to tell us about? Big, like films, you mentioned some Italian films.
Well, there's one project from one Italian director that seems very interesting to me, but there's no script at the moment, so
we'll wait and see what happens.
Then there's another thing which has well, actually, I say he hasn't got a script, but he has got a book, and he doesn't usually use a script. He uses just straight from the book sort of thing. But he has no production company to put up the money yet. And then I've got something else, which is something which actually has a production company and a book, but no director.
Oh, I see. It's a bit of this and a bit of that shot.
Yeah, well,
all shot in together.
That's how they always happen, I think. So.
Yeah. Now, you know anything at all about the Australian pop scene? Anything, you know?
I know the names of some of your...
Yeah, I guess like people like the Bee Gees and...
of course.
Yeah. Now,
E.B.C.
easy bits, yeah. We haven't heard a great deal of the easy bits that have been lying low, we hear, over there.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. What about the questions? If you've seen the questions work yet, they'll be playing with you on the show on Monday and Tuesday night.
No, I haven't, but I did hear their records.
All right, we're going to play
the radio.
A radio record, which is called Something Wonderful right now. We'll ask you to maybe give a few comments about it, if you will, after it. We might even get some of the kids to phone in on 929-7044 and tell us what you think of the questions record, which is called Something Wonderful. Wonderful from the questions.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just exact, you know. It's exactly right. You can hear each instrument and so on. It's a very precise production and very pretty. But the outstanding thing is the guy's voice. I think it's beautiful.
It's very good, isn't it? This is what I think you'll be impressed with when you see them, although you probably won't get much of a chance to see them on Monday night. Anyway, Paul, we want to thank you very much for coming in tonight. I know you're tired and everything, and we'll see you down there at the stadium on Monday night. All the very best. You're going to have a busy weekend ahead of you. At Brisbane tomorrow night, I think it is, isn't it? And then down in Melbourne on Saturday or somewhere. Anyway, I don't know where it is. But anyway, you'll be back here on Monday and Tuesday night, and there'll be a whole lot of people down there. Thanks again for coming in, and give our regards to the rest of the guys that are with you, the small faces, and we'll see them later on, too.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Tonight, our special guest on Radio 1 has been Mr. Paul Jones.
Out here and has to be the reception. It starts at 5:30. He can't be everywhere at once, so he's pretty beat, and he's doing press things. But he came in this morning to 2UW and was interviewed by Tomo. So that the best move would be to have that interview on the air this afternoon. So we'll run it again. You're right there, Smile? Right.
Now that you've made privilege, are you more interested perhaps in acting than singing?
No, not more. Equally.
Equally, you want to continue doing both?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Not in the same day. I don't want to make too many films in which I sing, you know, but I like the two things going.
What did you actually think of privilege yourself?
I thought it was quite good in as much as I was able to sort of watch it objectively, you know, and try and sort of make up my mind without being influenced by the fact that I was constantly looking at myself. I thought it was a pretty good film, and a nice piece of direction. Now, I think the best thing about it is the photography, which is absolutely beautiful.
Why did you leave Manfred Mann? That was a fair while ago. Now, you were with them for 3 years. Was it because you just felt that you could do better as a solo artist, or didn't you like what they were doing?
It was a mixture of so many different things, but basically I feel that, you know, every group has a sort of life during which the individual members are sort of helpful to each other on a sort of musical level and a performing level, and that we sort of reached the end of ours.
And how are they going now?
They're going fine, but I think that, you know, because there's two new faces in the group, Clark Borman and Mike Dalder.
Do you think the Beatles will continue to set the theme, the pattern in music in Britain for a long time to come?
I don't know, I can't see anybody else.
You think of the lineup you have appearing with you in the big shows here in Australia?
I think it's pretty nice. I've never actually, in all the time I've been seeing work with the Who, I had many times with the small faces, and you know, they're great on stage.
And what have you got lined up for 1968? Anything very big coming up? Movies, for example?
They're just deals at the moment. They're just projections. There's nothing certain, no contract. So it sounds kind of boring to talk about it, but at any rate, I'm discussing several different deals with various directors. I mean, you know, it's like one film's got a director and a script but no producer, and another film's got a producer and a script but no director, and you know, that type of thing. But I think it's certainly certain that I'll make a feature film within the next 12 months.
Well, I hope they all come good. The best of luck, Paul, and thanks very much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.